chicas. Now that the chickens are occupied. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan, and on this planet we send it. And what we're going to be getting in today, we're going to be doing a garden vlog to show you guys where things stand after we did the pruning 2 weeks ago. And I'm pretty excited. Well, we're about like a month or so away from springtime, and things are already starting to come to life. Now, there's a lot of things that I do want to show you in relation to the garden, which is good news stories. And I do got to admit, at the end of the video, I'm going to be telling you guys about an unfortunate bad news story in relation to the Jeep that I want to hurry up and try to get fixed, but I'll address the majority of that on the next video after this one. But anyways, I got a plan in place. Let's go ahead and send it. First thing I want to highlight is one of the blueberries are already starting to come to life pretty well, and the other one is starting to wake up, but both of them appear to be coming. I am seeing some of the like dark edges already here at the end of the tip here, and I'm hoping that that's going to stop there. But I'm going to continue watering, and just it appears it's coming to life, so everything should be good. And just kind of a quick note, being that it's the long weekend, I'm going to go ahead and be cleaning up and doing a little bit of maintenance, to include cutting up and getting rid of the prunings that I did 2 weeks ago, and then also giving the lawn a cut. Let's go ahead and check in on the hungry bin and the strawberries. Let's see here. Hungry bin just dropped some stuff in there. I will say that the worms are doing a pretty good job of eating it and bringing it down. Let me go ahead and open it all the way. For a period, I thought like the worms were we were putting too much in at one time. Granted, it looks like we are putting in some citrus here that they're not too fond of, but they will eat it eventually. This pile is steadily lowering down. So I do think I'm probably going to be harvesting the first harvest in the first week or two. Again, if you recall, I think what the first harvest is really going to be me recycling it back up to the top, because I anticipate there being way too much cardboard for me to actually do anything in the garden. And for the strawberries, yep, as you can see, we're getting ready to actually eat our first harvest of the year. They are coming in, not necessarily in full force, but we got a good little representation coming in here. This must be one of the ever-bearing varieties up top. I forget which one, but you can see we got the first batch coming in almost ready to eat, and then we got the next one coming in, the next batch coming in. So we're not, this isn't going to be a one harvest and done. This looks like we're getting ready to make quite a few harvests at the beginning of 2022. Want to definitely go ahead and finish up our firewood before we end the year. We've been getting into about the 30s to mid to upper 30s, so we've been having some chilly nights, and so we would definitely want to finish that up before the end of the year. You can see the garden over here. We got some sort of bolting, and others, you know, just doing really well. I'm unsure what to be. I think that's some celery in the background coming up, so it looks like we're about to have a good harvest of celery. And while we're here right now, you can see the mint has made it all the way over to my in-ground garden. I did highlight the last time. It's made it over actually from over here. So what I plan to do is I'm waiting for us to finish a milk carton and a full gallon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut open a side of it. I'm going to put some gasoline in there, and then I'm going to put the roots freshly dug up into there so it's all connected to the whole tree. And I'm going to see how much I can kill off doing that method, if any. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm trying to do some very precision assassination of this mint in my garden. Based on where the sun is, it's better for me to go in sort of the reverse order than I typically do. But some of the good news story that I wanted to show you is, number one, tomatoes are still going strong. But the peas that I planted have not only survived initial planting, but they are starting to thrive. I got 2 of them planted here. In addition to that, I got some kale that also is thriving and surviving. And it looks like for the hops, we got all new growth coming in there at the bottom. So those, I probably should have just pruned back all the bushes completely, because it's coming up with its own growth, and that's pretty exciting. And then just we'll continue down here as the kale is continuing on also. And then, yeah, like when I do the maintenance, I'll be doing some weeding and pulling this out. And then we have the lonely kale back here that is representing Kale Corner, the original kale. And again, doing it somewhat in reverse order, we got the flava beans that have taken root and are starting to thrive. In addition to, here's some of the other peas that I'm growing here. They're doing real good. Tomatoes, we're getting ready to get the next harvest, and I'm extremely glad that I'm going to get at least another harvest out of these, because these tomatoes have been something special. And I did forget to mention, got all the spinach down here that hasn't been eaten up completely by the animals, at least all the way over here. It's doing good. This one down here is actually getting attacked somewhat, but if it can start to thrive, and I don't know if it's just waiting for a little bit warmer temperature or what, but if it can start to thrive and grow a little bit, then it should be able to pull through the infestation, with this one being the last one that I planted here towards the front of the in-ground garden. And more beans coming up, and I've kind of been able to weed it all up, and correction, I've been able to sort of weave it all the way up. That's what I meant to say. But tomatoes doing good here. And then the only thing that I'm going to show you down here is just how much of a cancer mint is in the garden. I mean, it's just coming out everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Never, ever plant mint in a garden, because you will never get a hold of it. And I'm hoping that what I'm about to show you is, with the gasoline, it will kill this completely back. And if I got to do it in sections, I'll take it. But I got to figure out something to kill this off without having to kill everything in my garden and starting all over again. All right, here we are to another good news story. All right, so nothing really coming from the dual grafted tree here. Plum's not coming back to life. I am starting to see some life coming back in that peach. I was already seeing some seeing this peach come back, and as you can tell, you're starting to see the buds a little bit more on this one. I'll kind of move in so you can actually see them. Not sure how good they're coming in from afar compared to this one over here. This side right here being the other peach variety. You can see there is a little bit difference, but this one is starting to come in. Now, what I did want to highlight as far as the good news story is, look at all this new growth coming in on the semi-dwarf tree here. It would be really, I don't remember which one is which, but it would be awesome if this is the blood orange, because the blood orange is the one that I really, oh my goodness, what? Mint. You can just see how cancerous this thing is. I got to get that under control. But this, I would love to have the blood orange be this one. Of my luck, it's probably this one. But I do got a good news story here too. We are starting to see some growth coming in at different parts of the tree all over. So right now it's just a little bush. Since it is semi-dwarf, I don't expect it to get too big, but I would like to see it make a good strive this year and get a good growth. And if that one ended up where this one is next year, I think we'll be doing pretty good come the following year for harvest. We'll go ahead and combine the persimmons tree here with the lime tree. But the persimmons tree, I mean, it looks strong. It's growing nice and thick. It just doesn't seem to grow that many flowers. I'm correcting, that many leaves. So I'm unsure, like, if this is normal, cool. I guess it's doing good, but I haven't done it before. Oh, and actually what I'll do is, you can kind of see there a dragon fruit plant is growing pretty well. And never grown that before, but we'll see. It seems to be still surviving, so that's all I can ask of it. And we'll just step back here without doing a cut. I was originally thinking that at the end of this sort of fruiting part, I would go ahead and cut back the lime tree. I'm now having second thoughts about that, because the original purpose was to have the bottom here just sort of V out, a cone out, sort of say. And it is doing that right now all on its own. So I kind of want this to get started a little bit more, because basically if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I'm hoping that, I mean, there are some places in here that I got like 3 nodes growing from one place, so it will get a little bit of pruning. Maybe I'll do just one big hack. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't decided. Maybe I still will follow through with the original plan and just let the majority of the growth be focused from the bottom and just grow it, more intensely and strongly. But we'll see. I might just go ahead and cut there, clear out a few places to where they're growing in a little dense, and we'll just see what happens and just send it. But yeah, I'm unsure, but now I'm having second thoughts about chopping it. We'll have to see. All right, the fig tree, we'll combine the fig tree with the avocado tree and Big Bertha here. Nothing significant here. I do think I'm starting to see some growth here at the tip of every branch here. And also it looks like we finally have sort of scarred up, for lack of a better term. Before, for about a week, it was all nice and milky up there. It looks like that's actually hardening up and starting to solidify. But this is just sort of coming into place. It's adjusting to the cuts. And I don't remember, but I think this might be new, and I think that one down there might be new. So it's possible signs that the fig tree is coming back to life. And this one, really no difference than the other one. It's just still has the same growth, at least that I remember from about 2 weeks ago. Now let's jump over to the avocado tree. Avocado tree, I did decide to go ahead and put some of the suspension back up here to grow the plant in the way I wanted to, but I only did 2. And it seems like, and there's 2 reasons. Number one, when we do go up the hill, I have this little stepway, so I wanted to kind of keep this up a little open, and they were almost kind of vertical. So in addition to having the space there, I also want, when there's avocados, it to be able to better suspend itself, and the closer it is to a 45, the better it is. So as a matter of fact, I should probably even pull that one up a little bit higher. Maybe it settled after I tightened it down, so I might want to do it, but I would like it to look a little bit more like this, to where it's well beyond the 45, so when I let it go, hopefully it settles to about a 45. And then for Big Bertha, we are at the end of production. Just got some onesie twosies over here. And besides that, you can kind of see it's going through its own little fall foliage to where things are just yellowing slightly. And it will go through just a very brief period of this before it then starts to just refocus a lot of its growth back into the branches and the leaves. So that opening clip you saw me doing with the chickens when I came out here, they were just hollering at me, so I wanted to go ahead and feed them so they'd be a little bit more quiet when I came over here. Now, we'll go ahead and just group this section together. Pomegranate tree. As you can see, we saw the growth coming back when I was pruning it, and this is definitely starting to come back to life pretty quickly. So that's actually pretty exciting. I got some, what appears to be some potatoes down here that we'll be harvesting, and I don't know if it's concern. I'm a little unsure on what's going on here, but look at how heavily this thing is starting to sort of sacrifice. Now, I would expect to see some browning in the leaves from the baby avocado tree like it's doing there, and you can see that's happening quite a bit. But this is a little concerning. Number one, it didn't get to a nice dark green. That might just be because of the winter time and the chillier weather, but at least we're seeing some good nodes starting to come up there towards the top. So as long as it's still growing, I'm still happy. And we're just going to take a quick step back here. You see me on the last previous videos, I've been kind of like stepping through the elderberry tree, and the reason why, and I haven't really touched it yet, is because my original complaint was the elderberries were so high I couldn't harvest them, and so I was getting ready to chop the tree down. Now, I still think I will probably end up chopping the elderberry tree down, but at least right now, if the berries all come in, which you can see right here, they are at my level, which is not very high, and I should be able to harvest these. So this will probably be the first time I get a good elderberry harvest, and then after that I'll decide what or not I want to do with this tree. Now here at the grapevine, I'm not really seeing any life coming back to it yet, except in what I think is this persimmons tree. And actually, let's see here. I think I'm going to take this thing completely out because I don't want the roots fighting with the grapevine. So I'm going to have to probably double hand that and pull that out. So next time you guys see this, I'm going to be taking that out. I let the chickens out a few days ago, and they do what they normally do. So before I mow the lawn, I got to go around and push everything back. But we got some good soil ready to go, and it looks like they're talking again. They're done with the eating the food. But this is the section that I wanted to show you guys. Look at these papayas. Man, these things are just getting big, and they're just coming in, and I'm pretty confident now that we're getting some of these leaves starting to fall back, and getting this sort of film fungi growing on here, and I'm pretty sure that's because these are tropical plants, and it's not like in the 30-degree weather that we've had the 30-degree nights that we've been having the last week or so. And here's the other good news story. As a matter of fact, I will say I got to figure out how I'm going to make it that the papaya and this navel orange tree coexist. But look at all this new growth. It's coming in everywhere. And you can see the flowers are coming in too. It's just, we got new growth. This thing is finally starting to show a lot of, just look at me, pull these back, check that out. I'm just waiting for the bees to come back to the yard and go ahead and start pollinating everything, and we'll be seeing what this is going to look like. I've seen the bees on occasion, but not that many, but that's real exciting to see. And we're going to finish up with the little engine that could, the mango tree that we're growing from seed, and things appear to be thickening. At least it might just be my own illusions here, because we've had these sort of growth, these sort of spurts at the top of every bush since we went into winter, and maybe they're showing a little bit of separation now, similar to this one over here. As soon as that can focus, if it focuses, there we go. But all in all, she's still looking healthy. Although, again, what she's doing that I hadn't seen before is doing the browning at the end of the leaves. And I'm assuming that now she's just getting big enough to where it's doing that like the other trees, that they just start sacrificing some of the lower leaves for the new growth that are coming in. So, again, I think once we start getting pretty steadily nights into the 50s and not really dipping into the 40s that much anymore, we'll start seeing a lot of these trees, including the little engine that could, begin to wake up again. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, I just kind of wanted to highlight where things are, literally just vlog the garden on how things have been coming out of the pruning that we did, and some of the things that, all the good news stories on all the growth that's already starting to come in, even though we haven't quite hit springtime yet. Now, I did tell you that I was going to tell you about something that I'm not too happy about. Not garden related. For all of you who watch my Jeeping videos, my death wobble came back. It appears, the nut appears on the front track bar, that everything appears to be within the paint, except maybe it rotated slightly. So I got to get that taken a look at, and I'm a little concerned because I had a Jeep trip planned this weekend coming up after President's Day weekend, and I'm concerned now I'm going to be able to meet that. The only good news is I got my taxes in. I'm waiting for my CPA to finalize everything so I can go ahead and sign that and hopefully get a good return to pay for these repairs that I'm going to have to do. But we're going to have to see. They did quote me the last time quite a bit of work that needed to be done that I didn't get it done yet. But I think it's just time to get it all done now. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.